The COVID-19 vaccine for children was developed and tested in the same way as adult COVID-19 vaccines. In clinical trials, vaccine side effects were mild and similar to other vaccines recommended for children. And millions of children in the U.S. have been safely vaccinated. As a doctor, I recommend that children 5 and older get vaccinated against COVID-19. Get your child vaccinated today.
This is 107.5 WBLS and WBLS HD1 New York.
Good morning, and welcome to Sunday Morning with Revend Al Sharpton. I'm your host, Revend Al Sharpton, and we're live this Easter Sunday morning, 2022, where we pause as we do every Sunday morning for 1 hour for this to give you an opportunity to speak to the issues and concerns on your mind and in your heart that has occurred during the week and projecting the week to be heard nationwide, every state and every region of the country, on FMs everywhere. All you have to do is call me at 1-877-544-6290, 1-877-544-6290. And on this Easter Sunday morning, I wish everyone does not forget the meaning of Easter. For we that are of the Christian faith, and I am proudly a Baptist, it is the day we cite the resurrection of Christ. And as I am about other religious holidays that I observe for religious reasons, I am totally taken aback how the commercializing of these holidays take precedent over the meaning of them. Many people that don't even believe in the resurrection are making money today off of it. And many that don't believe in the resurrection are talking about what they're going to wear on Easter. And somehow some Easter bunny got in this. And I've been preaching for decades. I've never been able to find that bunny in the resurrection cemetery, or for that matter, Calvary on Good Friday. I don't know where they come up with this bunny from. But happy Easter, and I hope you know the meaning of the day. A lot has happened this week since we were together last Sunday morning. A police killing in Grand Rapids, Michigan certainly has caught a lot of the attention of those of us involved. And I had the father of Patrick Leolia on my television show last night at MSNBC. He and his family are refugees from the Congo. His son Patrick, 26 years old, father of 2, came to the country 7 years ago and was stopped for a traffic tag on his car. Videotape that we seen, and I showed some of it last night, says the officer started addressing him. He responded. He walked away. The officer chased him. They got into a scuffle. An officer shot him and killed him, shooting him in the back of his head. Officer saying something about, "Get your hand off my taser," or something while he was scuffling. Senseless, vicious execution is what his father called it. Attorney Ben Crump handling the case. I've been asked to come and do the eulogy, which I will do later this week. We have people that are on the way in from National Action Network to join the local activists there that's been doing I think, great job protesting this shooting. How do you go and answer a traffic violation, a traffic tags on a car, and end up shooting somebody in the back of the head and killing them? You know he wasn't armed because you were on top of him, tussling with him. So you could feel everything in his body, and you know he couldn't reach the gun. If he was trying, as the passenger in the car, what Patrick said, if he was trying to move the taser in your hand out of the way from tasing him, that's a natural reaction. You're the one trained in de-escalation. But then why would you pull your gun and fire? Now, some are saying, well, he's going to say it went off by accident. Why would you pull your gun at all? This is why we must have the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Until we deal with qualified immunity and training and screening, and police know they can lose stuff personally, they will not stop being reckless. And yes, we won a couple of cases. Dante Wright convicted a policeman. The case of George Floyd convicted a policeman, convicted a policeman, but that did not change the law, and that does not mean it is stopped. And we certainly on that. And I had the father on with Attorney Crump last night, and I certainly will honor his request to come in. And we already have some of our people from NAN headed in to work with the local activists to help support them and the family, not supplant them. Less than a week after our convention, our National Action Network convention, we are in the middle of that already. And it happened before the convention, April 4th. But now we're focusing a lot of attention on it. Same time this week, we saw in New York a 62-year-old man named Frank James got on a subway and shot 10 people, wounded others. So we have the balancing dilemma of how we deal with public safety, people with mental health issues, and deal with not unhinging the police. And it's a balance. And I disagree with those that are for public safety and say you got to let the police do it whatever they want and let the police go. And I disagree with those that want police reform and don't care about public safety. We need both. No other community has to choose between their safety and their policing. So why can't we have both? And why can't people understand that wants our votes and our support? I think the litmus test for these midterm elections has to be around questions of police reform and public safety. And talking about the midterms, we are fighting. We came out of the convention last week. Our priorities are dealing with being on the ground in those 19 states that have already changed the voting laws to get people educated on them so they can vote as we challenge them in the courts and in the legislature. And, of course, dealing with criminal justice reform, everything from police brutality as in the Loyola case and in mass incarceration and these stiff bails. So a lot to talk about that happened during the week, and we are open to you bringing up, of course, your thoughts on the meaning or the distortion of the day Easter. Some of you on your way to Easter services, some went to sunrise services, and you may want to share your thoughts on this Easter morning to the nation. 1-877-544-6290, 1-877-544-6290. Let's start this morning in New Orleans, Louisiana, line 5 with Don. Don, you're on Sunday morning with Al Sharpton.
And a very good Resurrection Sunday to all you and the rest of the nation and the world.
Same to you.
Wasn't Gerald Ford, the president, buried in Grand Rapids. Is he not buried in Grand Rapids, Michigan?
I believe that's true. I think he was from Grand Rapids.
Okay, well, yeah, I was thinking Earl Little Sr., Malcolm X, Malik El Shabaab's father, Earl Little Sr., but I think he was killed and he was murdered in Lansing, Michigan, I believe, right over by a streetcar. He was active as a Marcus Garvey. So Michigan is very prominent in our history. And I wanted to say with the execution of the Congolese brother, it's a sad situation. And two other things, Reverend Al, quickly. The issue of when we talk about Ukraine, that's a very serious situation. But let's not forget Sudan and Ethiopia,
right?
In their situation. And when we talk about Jackie Robinson, quickly, when we talk about Jackie Robinson and they try to put Jackie Robinson against Paul Robeson, two great academicians in the time. Because you look at when Jackie Robinson, the situation he came from, and you look at Paul Robeson when he was born, and you look at the nation when you talk about high school, when we talk about high school graduation, let alone going to college and earning a PhD and be a Phi Beta Kappa. At that time, from 1900 to when Jackie Robinson was born in 1915, we're talking about black people were not even, the illiteracy rate was very high.
Yeah.
So the church, on this day, the church, the Bible, many Bibles, version of the Bible, and the journalists, the black newspapers, eradicated illiteracy in the black community for the most part. So on this day that we commemorate to gather together for resurrection, let's remember those who, during that time, high school graduation for blacks was null and void for the most part.
No, and I think that's a good. I think that's a good point. And I think for you listening, he brings up Jackie Robinson because on Friday was the 75th anniversary of Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier in Major League Baseball. But what a lot of people did not know, Jackie Robinson was an activist. In 1941, he refused to give up his seat in the front of the bus, 15 years, 14 years before Rosa, and fought against racism in the armed forces when he was in there, and then took the abuse. I mean, when Jackie Robinson started playing baseball, he took the abuse of being called the N-word. They would throw batteries at him, wouldn't let him stay in hotels, and he took it with quiet dignity. When we looked at Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson just the other week, sitting there taking those insults, Jackie Robinson took the physical as well as verbal insults with that. And I think that John is right. We should not take advantage. We should not take for granted is the word I'm looking for. People that really suffered, took abuse, but took it with dignity so that the point would be made and the progress established for us. They were not that they were afraid or that they were some kind of adjusting to it, is that they looked at the bigger picture and said, I can take this temporary discomfort to break these barriers down. And Jackie Robinson certainly did that. Thank you for your call. Let's go to Wilson, North Carolina, to Foxy 104.3, to Cordy. Cordy, you're on Sunday morning with Al Sharpton this Easter Sunday morning.
Well, happy Easter, Governor. And thank you for taking my call. So I was on two quick things. The thing about they shot that boy in the head. It's so, I'm American. We've been here all our life. I'm a black man. Been here all our life. We need black men from all 50 states come together. We got to stop the killing. Because it's murder. It's not killing no more. It's just murder. I'm playing out murder. And we can't break out shooting tell them where you black and they stop you. We got this much got to give on the earth like any other man. And the second thing that I want to say is that I don't really believe that guy in New York did that. I looked at him, I looked how they told the story. I could be wrong. I said, but to me, it's more to it than saying it was the man that did all that shooting on the subway.
Well, the problem with the, and I first of all agree with you with the first part about the young man, the old young, shot in the back of the head. I've agreed at the request of his father on my television show last night. I'm going to do the eulogy for him this week. And there's no justification shooting him in the back of his head. I don't care how you do it. The question is, how long are we going to keep voting for people that will not bring federal laws that will make these policemen understand they got to pay the ultimate price? Yes, we won 1 or 2 cases, but the law is not there. And we can talk about retaliation all we want. That will only make them shoot more of us. We need to make them understand that the law is going to punish them, and they'll think twice, and they could lose all of what their family has with qualified immunity. That's why that George Floyd bill is important. We can talk tough all we want, but we need to go back and get them. Yeah, that's what they want. So then they can say, see, we got to start shooting because they're talking about shooting us. What they don't want is to have to put some skin in the game, that for the decisions you make, you can go to jail and your family can lose everything you got. That's what don't want. As far as whether Frank James did the subway shooting, he called and turned himself in and told him where he was. So I don't know that we can argue whether he did it when he said he did it, or at least has inferred it as far as we know so far. Let's go to Mark in Houston, Texas. Magic 102.1. Mark.
Good morning, Revend Al Sharpton. You doing all right this morning?
I'm doing well. Happy Easter to you.
And happy Easter to you. That's why it's very important, people. You got to hear this. It's very important that John Lewis bill be passed. Because what we just talked about, the execution of an African-American man, once again, an unarmed black man. And remember this here, we got mental issues. When police officers come into our communities with our mental issues, they show them killing. But when they go into the white community, somehow they know how to handle those mental issues. And at the end of the day, the young man in New York who claimed that he shot and did this and killed all these people, he has a mental issue. Number one, he called the people and told them that he did it. But the media is saying that other 5, 6 other people are going to collect the reward because they say they called in. See, there's an issue. There's a problem here. But will they say he's not a mental? Yeah, he's mental. He's crazy. There's no doubt about it. That's why we need the John Lewis bill passed. When it can help us, somehow what happens? It sits there and it stalls when it's in the benefit of us, Revend Al Sharpton, and that is the issue. These police officers are out of control. They have pulled a man over just for a traffic ticket. Now just remember it's a traffic ticket, y'all. And now in the video, get your hand off my tape. I don't see it, but that's his excuse to say, now I can shoot him in the head. These are the issues that we are dealing with here in America. Mental issues concerning these police officers when it comes, like I say, once again, when they come into our communities, y'all, yeah, we got mental issues, but they solve them and murder us. But you can see a white boy that's got an AK fail, shoot and kill a whole lot of people, got ammunition, a whole 9 yards, but they know how to handle those. Something's wrong in America when it comes to that.
Ain't no doubt about it. And one, if the man was trying to block his there was a passenger car was saying that he was trying to make the guy not use his taser on him, but he was down trying to block him from using his taser. So the answer is to take out a gun and shoot him in the back of the head. First of all, he couldn't have been trying to shoot you with the taser if he was face down. That's how you shot him in the back of his head. He was face down. It is absolutely horrendous, and you're right. That's why we need the voting bill so we could elect officials that would vote and put these federal laws on policing. Let's stay in Houston, Texas, Magic 102.1, and go to Chris. Chris, you're on Sunday morning with Al Sharpton.
Good morning, Reverend Al. Happy Easter.
To you,
Jesus is the reason. Jesus is the reason. Quick point is, are there any schools or academies that can teach our young black men how to interact at a traffic stop, or, to deal with the police instead of so much going on? Maybe we could save some lives,
Well, I think that there are programs, but I think that the concentration, Chris, ought to be to teach these policemen how to interact and do their job. I'm not against trying to teach our young people things. bad cops without telling bad cops they don't need to be on the force, and that they need the training of the policemen on why they do that. Let's not forget now, in white communities, kids respond to police in ways that are not favorable. Sometimes the police or they consider rude or arrogant, and they don't shoot them in the back of the head. So the problem is policing, in my opinion. Let's go to Gary in Ohio, Magic 95.5. Gary, you're on Sunday morning with Al Sharpton.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I just wanted to elaborate on the Easter part
Okay.
of today's celebration. And I feel like Easter, Christmas, and things only are important to kids that don't understand nothing. It's just to maybe give them something to look forward to as a child. But I believe that was given to not only our communities, but to the man himself, to be able to learn how to deceive your kids at a young age, because I don't know where a bunny ties into God, spirituality, the higher power. For this day that they say you go search for a bunny egg or bunny, whatever. I just feel like these things that we're practicing are practices that the enemy has set forth for us to deceive each other as people, and especially in our neighborhoods, the black community, because we're so quick to go buy a gift for each other on Christmas, but we won't see them 3 months before Christmas.
Right.
You know, things like that is very critical to our black community that we are so lost in, is that we're so easy to give to. And don't take this wrong, because giving is beautiful, but churches are asking for more than what God asked for, and we are taught to learn to sacrifice and leave it to God. And I've heard this in my life, Brother Al. I've heard people tell women, you know, stay in that bad relationship. God will fix them. If you can't fix yourself, a biracial black man that I am, is that the Bible says, study to show thyself approved. And I believe until we as black people learn how to learn. See, that's our problem. We don't want to learn from each other. We don't want to listen and reason to each other. We take in, Pastor, don't take this wrong. We take that Bible and we put more faith in the Bible than we do our own home. You know, we give faith to something that I don't think the God that I pray to, the higher power, would have me to believe that in the Bible the slave is a slave.
Well, I think that you're absolutely right there. First of all, I said yesterday at the Saturday Action Rally we do every Saturday that you open the Bible, it starts. First book in the Bible is Genesis, which deals really with creation and the formation of man. Second book of the Bible is Exodus, which is the exodus of slaves from bondage. So clearly, the Bible starts with fighting for liberation of slaves. Just a lot of people don't have enough, let's say, courage to try and make sure that they make that connection to slavery. Again, we're just about 3 or 4 generations, the most, from slavery ourselves. And they continue to try and give us a slave mentality, which we have to constantly break through. Let's take a break. Lines are jammed, and I'm coming right back to you on this Easter Sunday morning. It's Sunday morning with Al Sharpton live. 1-877-544-6290. 1-877-544-6290. We'll be right back.
7.5 WBLS.
My pops had his leg amputated, lost his mobility, lost his independence, and it wasn't long before I miss him. I wish I had known about Vascular Centers of America. He never expected it could happen to him. He kept taking painkillers for his legs, but he should have dealt with the problem itself. Enough blood for his legs. He never liked going to the doc, but Vascular Centers of America would have come to him. I've got diabetes, so I'm going there myself. I owe it to Pops. Call 8337-MY-LEGS. 8337-MY-LEGS.
Hey, New York City business owners, stop overpaying for internet and phone. Switch to Spectrum Business. Best deal for small businesses. Get blazing 100 megabits and phone for just $19.99 a month. Visit business.spectrum.com/ultra.
You gotta hop over to Burlington for surprising deals on everything you and the family need for Easter. We keep our prices light with a lighter season, with fresh fashions for you, dressy looks for the kids, new shoes for the warmer temps. Just brand bags, very fresh. Spring is the time for saving on something new. And they love the hunt, love the deals.
Gentlemen, have you wanted some help and thought about trying Cialis or Viagra? But why pay almost $15 per pill? The solution is to buy generic at Viagra on call. That's right. You can save hundreds of dollars if you call today. For instance, we'll give you 60 blue pills or 60 yellow pills for $99 or 100 pills for $150. You can save hundreds of dollars. Call us right now. Call Viagra on call and start saving money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in an unmarked package. Operators are standing by. $50. Call 712. That's 800-295-5712.
Your mother has been there for you your whole life. Mother's Day is a perfect time to give a gift she can see for the rest of her life. Consider treating your mom to lipo. 1-800-683-LIPO, because I know there are some areas we'd like to unpack the fat, because the fat has had a free ride for far too long. I carried baby fat for almost 20 years, and I'm still asking myself, why did I wait so long? Help your mom rid of the fat that you left her with after childbirth. If you have questions, Dr. Levine has all the answers. Call 1-800-683-LIPO. Perhaps your wife or girlfriend has hinted that she would like to sculpt a problem area that is plagued with stubborn fat. She can consider a fat transfer, remove the fat from one area that doesn't need it to an area that does. Breast enhancement surgery, Brazilian butt lift, help wifey, girlfriend, or mom kick fat to the curb and delete the cellulite. There are surgical or non-surgical treatments for cellulite as well. It's time. 1-800-683-LIPO. That's 1-800-683-5476 or nyclipo.com. Tri-State, your favorite Mother's Day event is back at the Robert Tree Hotel in Newark, New Jersey with an open all-you-can-eat buffet. Sunday, May 8th. Tickets are on sale right now at twofish5loaves.com.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish is...
It's pretty bad.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind. Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde es?
No matter your learning style or experience level, Babbel has lessons designed for you that will keep you speaking quickly and confidently.
I tried learning Spanish before, but I couldn't stick with it until I found Babbel.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said we speak Spanish.
I can't wait to use our new language skills on our upcoming adventures.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free. Just text radio to 64,000 to start learning a new language today. That's radio to 64,000. RADIO to 64,000.
Are you behind on your energy bill? PSE&G can help. If you need payment assistance, we want you to know that programs have expanded to include more customers at much higher income levels. One program also provides forgiveness of past due balances. If you need more time to catch up on your bill, we can work with you to set up a payment arrangement. To learn more, visit pseg.com/helpnow. PSE&G, helping you get back on track together.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Morse, Chief Medical Officer and Deputy Commissioner at the New York City Health Department. I have an important update about life-saving COVID-19 treatment to someone who has COVID-19. Second, treatment can help you feel better sooner and avoid getting worse. Everyone wants to feel better fast when they're sick, and COVID treatments do that. Third, treatment is available to New Yorkers who are 12 and older who tested positive for COVID-19. Fourth, there are many more treatment options available, and now they're easier to get than ever. Treatments come as an injection or pills, and now we can deliver the pills to your door within hours. Lastly, remember, treatment is not a substitute for vaccination. Getting vaccinated and boosted is still the best way to decrease your chance of getting COVID-19. If you test positive, talk to your doctor or call 212-COVID-19 to find out what treatment option is the best for you.
107.5 WBLS.
It's gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right. As I turn up the collarbone, I'll fade the winter cold. The spring is blowing my mind. I see the kids in the street, not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? I saw us disregard the broken bottle top and what and so we follow each other on the windows, 'cause they got nowhere to go. Nobody know what you know.
Starting with the man in the mirror, asking him or her to change their ways. That's what we pause to challenge every Sunday morning on Sunday Morning with Revend Al Sharpton. We are committed to speaking truth to power. We are obligated to hold those with influence accountable. But the one we know we can work on, the one we know we can shape and mold, is the one we look at in the mirror every day. If you work on that person, it will help the whole of our community. Sunday Morning with Al Sharpton. It is live this Sunday, Easter Sunday morning, 1-877-544-6290. And first half of the show, we talked about what is the real meaning of Easter to you. I've said what it means to me. It is the resurrection of Christ and the ability for us to resurrect ourselves from our down sinful ways. We talked about Patrick Loyola, a young Congolese refugee, been here 7 years, shot and killed, shot in the back of his head over a traffic stop with a policeman in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And Attorney Ben Crump is on the case. I'll be doing the eulogy this week. We in National Action Network will be supporting the local activist that's been doing daily marches. We talked about how Frank James was arrested in New York, shooting 10 people on the subway. Straight and challenge as talk about by way of evening, 5 p.m. Sunday evening, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live on MSNBC. Last night, I had the father of this young man killed by police in Grand Rapids. I had Attorney Ben Crump. I had the head of the Democratic caucus in Congress, Hakeem Jeffries. Got a big show for you tonight, even on Easter Sunday. Now your friends need to get the information. And then you that are New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, meet me at the Saturday Action Rally. We had a packed house yesterday, and I'll be there again next Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. in the village of Howard at National Action Network's House of Justice, 106 West 145th Street, 145th and Lenox Avenue in Harlem. You owe it to yourself. If you do not live in the New York area or visiting, You can watch it live on Impact Television. We ought to be meeting at least once a week, exchanging information and being inspired to keep working in and for our interests. 1-877-544-6290. Let's go back to the phones. Have a lot of calls. The board is full. Let's go to Queens, New York, WBLS 107.5 to Albert. Albert, you're on Sunday morning with Al Sharpton.
Good morning, Revend Sharpton. You stated earlier that you didn't know where the bunnies came from in relation with Easter.
Right.
I'll give you an extremely abbreviated history about Christian history as it relates to the Europeans. Emperor Constantine established the Nicene Council, set the date for the festival of Easter. Easter is the name of the goddess of spring, which is a pagan deity. Okay? They found out earlier, very early in Christian history, that Europeans would never accept Christianity if they had to completely give up their pagan beliefs and the practices of those rituals and those various religions within paganism. Okay, bunny rabbits is a figure that represents fertility. The eggs represent the future. Europeans to this very day believe in the other world, not the underworld, where animals represent various human figures. Every 40 days in Europe, a festival takes place with regards to celebrating these animal figures representing human
you're correct, Albert, on the history. And you're correct that under Constantine and others, they've distorted Easter and distorted other holidays. But let's not forget the resurrection and the commemorating of the resurrection didn't start with Constantine in Europe. That's a distortion. It started first of all, the first Christian state in the world was in Ethiopia and the Coptic Church. So that is why I'm saying we should not let people's distortions and deviations interpret how we deal with the facts. But thank you for your call. Let me go to Atlanta, Georgia, Magic 107.5 to Chris. And 4. Chris, you're on Sunday morning with Al Sharpton.
I'm doing great. I know you get tired of getting the calls where it seems like weekly now with another black man or a black woman getting shot execution style by a police officer. Just wanted to give a quick message to all black people, and it's something I heard Johnny Cochran say, the late great Johnny Cochran. He said that a police officer is the most powerful person in the criminal justice system. It's not a judge, it's a police officer, because he or she has the ability to take your life in a matter of seconds and then justify it. One of the things, the message that I wanted to give is that, my father used to always tell me when I was growing up, Chris, I want you to make it back home, and I want you to use your head, because I would rather you be judged by a jury of 12 any day than carry out of a damn church in a box by 6. And the message that I want to give to all black people is to always use your head and to understand something. A policeman always remember that he never gives him the ability to justify killing you, because he is looking for an excuse. And that's a message that needs to be sent to all black people across the nation. When we get pulled over, we have altercation, and be judged by a jury of 12 and not carried out of the box by 6. Never keep the line. I want you to speak on that.
All right. No, I think you're right. I think, and it goes back to the caller earlier that said, do we have ways to train young people in our to correct these policemen We cannot act like the police are above the accountability of those that pay them, and that's the taxpayer. So I absolutely agree with your father's admonition in what you're saying. I just say we should do both and train our young people to get home, but we need to put the laws where the police understand that you're going to learn how to treat us in our community like you do in other communities. You do not shoot white kids in the back of the head over a traffic violation. And that's just that simple. And we cannot tolerate that, particularly those of us that understand we are paying their salaries. Let's go to Mike in Petersburg, Virginia, WKJS 105.7 KISS in Petersburg.
Reverend I, this is Stewart in Petersburg, Virginia, with the Black History Museum. When you came to First Baptist Church, I invited you to come over. I haven't called you in many years. It's Stewart in Petersburg, Virginia.
Okay, all right.
Now, Reverend, I can see that I want to ask you, we have what you call a sunrise service. Tombstone place pointed to the east. How do the sunrise service relate to Easter?
Well, I mean, I don't know how y'all have the sunrise service. I think that when I was growing up, and even now they have sunrise services, and a lot of them were saying that they wanted to rise at sunrise because the women would go in Durham, North Carolina, Foxy 107. You're on Sunday morning with Al Sharpton.
Good, have a blessed Easter, Reverend Al. Blessed Easter to you. I want to speak briefly on President Joe Biden, and I'm going to hang up and listen to your feedback. Okay, he is out there pushing that. I mean, well, he is, and it's a good thing. He's doing so much for black people. He put a black woman in the White House. He put a black woman on the, helped put a black woman on the Supreme Court, and he's doing all these things that he's saying for black people. Okay, like this week, he was in North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, at a historic black college speaking there, which is where my daughter attended, and all that is good and well, but what about reparations? This is something that we need right now.
The commission reparations has moved forward in the House. It's got to move forward in the Senate. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee was at NAN's convention last week talking about it. The president can't sign a bill that they have not passed. And we need to make sure that is on the table and pass that reparation. The George Floyd Justice and Policing Act and the John Lewis bill. So that already dealt with the commission, the House of Representatives. We need the Senate to move forward. Let's go to Andre in Jersey City, New Jersey, WBLS 107.5. Andre.
Hey, Reverend Al. Hope you're doing well this week. Quick question for the lady who just called. Biden didn't put her, the new representative in the Supreme Court. He didn't put her there because if he did, if he could do that, we wouldn't have to go through all these trials and everything else.
Yeah.
So that's just one thing. I think people need to stop pretending they're outraged about this situation with the Congolese brother who got shot in the back of the head, and put the same energy that